when you're trying to choke someone, you need to reach the collar, and then you pull him and you choke. As you're trying to reach for the person's neck, it's natural for them to keep the arms on your chest to posture up to avoid you reaching the neck, and then they will expose the arm to the arm. Because if they don't keep the arm on your chest to push, that means they'll be much closer to you, so that way you can go for the choke. It's natural that they react, trying to defend. That's when they go for the arm. So you should always combine the attacks. Every time you're attacking one, keep the eye for the second one, because he might, if the first one is too difficult, he will give you the second one. The same thing with the arm. If you're climbing up to go for the arm lock, it's natural for you to come close to the person. You don't want your arm straight. You want your arm bent. You want to use your weight on top of the person to avoid him pushing you away going for the arm lock. So that means I'm driving in to the choke. So always combine one and the other. Let's check it out. So, as the single attack, the choke, the first hand, it should always be 4 fingers in. You always want, you always want to go as deep as you can. And it's very important that your palm should look at you. They should be facing you. If the palm is facing to the side, so that means I will have a soft part, where I have a soft tissue of my wrist. You should have, if I have the 4 fingers in, I should have the side of my wrist, the sharp part against his neck. So naturally the wrist turns. If I'm going with the thumb in, if there's a choke with the thumb, then it should be the opposite. Then the palm is facing down. But then I'm putting the side where I have, the bones against the neck. And if I have the 4 fingers in, it's the opposite, it's the inside. So you should always turn. You get a much stronger choke if you have the sharp part of your wrist, not the soft part, where you have a lot of tissues. As the technique works, you want to go, you always want to open up to go first hand. The second hand, I can go over, but if you realize that I already have one wrist against his neck, it's difficult to go over and reach for the second one because the angle, see my wrist will go across his face. So if I try to go under, I can reach for the neck much easier, and therefore to choke the person. So from the guard, I would not say as a rule, because if I can create an angle, if I can put myself here, now I can go over. Because see, now the angle, I reach for the neck, then I could go 4 fingers in. But only if I come to this angle. If I'm even square facing him, you should go under, because then you can reach his neck much easier. If I try to go over, because if I cannot go lower than my own arm, and therefore I'm right across his face. So if I go underneath, I'll reach for the neck, unless my arm drops, so I'm on this side. See, my arm is much lower, so now I can reach for his neck. Now the angle allow me to go. So it depends on the angle that your body is, it will dictate if I go on, over, or under. So after the first hand is in, if I'm not trying to choke yet, I don't need to force my wrist in. I just, you make your grip and keep your arm relaxed. You don't have to force it in, for the palm, to have the side of your wrist straight away into his neck. So now, you want to pull the person in to go for the second hand. What's his reaction? Hands on your chest. Because if I'm trying to pull, it's very difficult with his arms. Very difficult. Even if I can reach for the neck, I can't go deep. It's very difficult to go deep. Then you grab the arm. If I can't go in, so I'm pulling, my legs are coming to me, I'm pulling him towards me, so he's forced to keep his arm in. So I would say that a very good start on the close guard. The person, he needs the arm in. That's always, straight away. Is to reach for the collar, he grab the arm. That is always a great start to start your attacks. Because now I can try to pull, I can see if I go for the neck, or I can climb the arm. It gives me quite a few options here. You know, there's other attacks I can try to go. He's posturing up. I'm pulling, look. See, straight away I can turn, go for the arm. He comes down, oh, for the neck. Forte.
Não, vou nada.
E o braço?
Não foi. Não foi.
But there's, there was a small demonstrations for you guys to see, because it's more realistic. Having right from the beginning, the person needs the arm on your chest. See, he was.